Dobar dan svima. Moje ime je Alen Đurić. Vjerujem već iz ovih par riječi koje sam izgovorio da možete pretpostaviti da dolazim iz Dubrovnika i diplomantima bi želio poručiti što je jako važno. Kad ste već završili ovako respektabilni studij, bilo bi sramota da ne znate da se ne reče gospar, nego gospar. Dame nisu Dubrovčanke, nego su Dubrovkinje. I sa ovom diplomom ste usvojili ta bitna znanja. A sad ćemo krenuti na stvari koje su manje bitne u govoru. Ovo je bilo najbitnije. Tako ovi koje ne interesira ostalo možete izaći, a vidim da vas ima jako puno. Mato, treba ćemo provjeriti jesu li svi platili karte poslije. Jučer sam dao sličan govor i organizatori, odnosno dekan, me uputio na dvije stvari koje bi trebalo promijeniti. Prva, da skratim govor sa 2 sata na 1 sat, tako da sam pripremio verziju govora koja je 1 sat. Druga stvar, također mi je rečeno, ljudi će te bolje razumije ako budeš pričao na engleskom. Tako da ćemo dio govora prebaciti na engleski. Dakle, generacija 2022. Posebna po puno toga, kao što je dekan naveo, vi ste generacija koja je prošla COVID, koja završava u vrijeme jako nestabilne geopolitičke situacije s agresijom Rusije na Ukrajinu i koja još ko bonus na sve to u odnosu na druge generacije širom svijeta imala i potres. Tako, po svemu ste posebni, ali opet ne i toliko posebni, jer takvih nedaća je bilo i u prošlosti. I što nas prošlost uči, sad vjerujem da ćete misliti ajme nemoj me tih, sve što me ne ubije čini me jačim i ostalim mudrostima. Ne, u najvećim katastrofama i u najvećim nedaćama se također ostvaruju i najveći uspjehi i to su najveće prilike koje ne dolaze tako često. I kao što je poznati industrijalac John Davison Rockefeller rekao, uvijek sam pokušavao svaku katastrofu pretvoriti u priliku. Mislim da ne postoji ništa što je toliko bitno za uspjeh bilo koje vrste kao ustrajnost i staloženost. So, today we are going to be talking about 3 things. First one is about difficult times, catastrophes, and opportunities that they give you. Second one is going to be about mindfulness and being mindful when it's the toughest, and also being perseverant. And the third one What we are going to talk about is dare to do the big things, and big things take time. So I'll be taking from my personal experience and trying to articulate those 3 points. And I'll do it through 3 different stories. So story number 1, 2003 was the year when I started my first enterprise. Telecom provider challenging monopolies in a new, quite innovative way. And 2003 is year when you guys were still, or most of you, been toddlers. But trust me, even at that time, those were hard times. 2003 or March 2003, when I started my first company, was a month where Dow Jones has reached its lowest after 2 very tough years, 50% drop, similar with NASDAQ. And this is 2 years after September 11th happened, also very tough from geopolitical point of view, very comparable to the moment that we have at this moment. And at that time, it may look like this is the craziest time to start your business. It's a time when you really need to look hard to find any angel investors when you need them. No VCs around, no private equities. But at the same time, this is a time when I was able to buy very expensive telecom and networking equipment for a 5 to 10% of its price. And something like this doesn't happen when things are going well. So at those times, you can also realize bigger plans that are not necessarily possible at all during the time of a greed on the market and when bull's market is happening. So how you can get that? It's a brand new equipment that I was buying on eBay. Other thing also, which was quite unique for that moment, was access to very talented people. Usually, when things are going great, a number of great entrepreneurs and a number of great colleagues, technologists, etc., all of them are going to work on their own startups and on their own plans. At the times of the catastrophes and hardships, those are the times when you can recruit the best people. And this is exactly what happened with my first startup. Thanks to this big, unfortunate situation, managed to turn it into fantastic opportunity, unique opportunity. That kind of opportunity I wouldn't have in the next 15 to 20 years, or pretty much until today. So don't use ever as excuse hard time, hardship. Just look harder and be sure that you're going to find some gold nuggets that you can benefit from. And with this startup, we managed to list it on a Oslo Stock Exchange, and it returned basically 60 to 80 times depending in which round investors came. Or in a simple language, amazing returns in a record short time. Story number 2. Be calm and be mindful. Had a situation where was still working at Ericsson as one of the senior staff members and the supervisor of super important project for Ericsson, where we were deploying first European nationwide internet telephony network. So we installed equipment in 22 cities. I'm supervising it. I'm in charge of it. Everything looks nice and peachy. We are getting to the point where we're supposed to launch. Launch day is coming very soon. And with launch, we are calling President of European Parliament, and just 20-30 minutes before we need to call European Parliament, Spanish TV is there, live. Some of the calls are not working. And then trying to see like a scramble, is it like every second call? What is like trying to find a pattern there? What doesn't work? And this is a moment you can imagine when super calm, ice cold Swedes are, pulling their hair. Panic. And then what's happening is like, you are in charge. You need to be in charge. Take calm. Couple of deep breaths. Completely calm down. Act calm, because when you act calm, people around you are going to respond also in a calm way. Once as everyone is seeing that you are calm and you are in charge, then they are becoming calm. Another 5-10 minutes, we are looking into a couple of things, and we nailed it. So literally 10 minutes before the call goes live, situation was resolved. And something, what before this event took 1 year of a hard work could turn into a disaster in a moment. Calmness was literally what solved it. So having this one in mind, find your calm, be mindful, practice either meditation or a prayer. Prayer is also kind of meditation, and when you are calm, everyone around you is going to be calm, and you are going to reach way further by acting like this. Other great example of a calmness I experienced when joining one event that Mr. Jura and Mr. Mato Dean have put up a new economic business forum. 2016 was listening to ex-Prime Minister of Singapore, Mr. Giorgio, and his speech and response on a tough questions that Mato was grilling him with is something where you can learn, and would recommend you to see that. It's available on YouTube. Whenever tough question comes, you see from Mr. Yo taking a time, taking a deep breath, and then responding in a way that really impresses you. And I've seen some of the best speakers around the world, participated on some events with them, like Steve Ballmer, Richard Branson, Travis Chesky, founder of Uber, Jay Leno, comedian, and others. And this was definitely one of the most impressive ones I've seen around. So keep your calm, take the time, take a deep breath, and never underestimate power of that one. Story number 3. Dare to change big things and be prepared that it will take time for that. I know it's a bit tough for you guys to be patient, because you are also what we call, a bit older ones than you, like generation, or an instant gratification generation. So like, you do something, you get a like. It's like you see right away results of what you've done. And don't get me wrong, this is also great, and I wish my generation had also part of your wisdom with this one. But this is not the cool wisdom. For some things take time to get to it. So when you combine those two, you are getting something super powerful. And dare to do things that are big and that matter. Also need to criticize you a bit, guys, because, you know, fear is good. And for you, especially for guys of your generation, you don't even have a fear to find a partner. With a Tinder, it's like, you know, it's, come on, you're laughing, and it's true, right? It's super simple, because you get rejected by even not knowing that you've been rejected, etc. So it's like, you know, fear disappears, but fear is good, but don't be stopped by fear. And on my personal example, had a similar fear and very difficult situation when I was working at a company called Global IP Solutions, where I was one of the first, or the first engineer after the founders. We had amazing technology, which basically was super hard to deploy. No one wanted to deploy it. Managed to change the business model, started deploying it open source, took it to standardization, where people were telling me, like, you are crazy for doing it, because this standardization body never did it. So like, yeah, that's exactly why they should do it now. And few years after that, we have a standard, we have something what Skype started using. Skype became Skype because of this. And then 10 years after, 1 billion people is using that technology. That technology is called WebRTC. And today, more than 5 billion people are using it. Zoom, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, anything, name it, everyone is using it. But it took more than 10 years for something like this to be this successful. Similar now, working with a technology that is called message layer security, trying to impact the privacy and get privacy to our lives. And privacy is super important and should never be underestimated. And this is something as well what would like you to check a bit more and make sure that you are always aware of hazards that lack of privacy or a lost privacy can cause to you and to your future customers or business partners. So with this work, started it in 2016 over a nice dinner in Berlin with a number of good friends from technology, also a number of those that are influencers that were not super happy about the idea. But there, you know, in a relaxed atmosphere, you should never underestimate a power of a good glass of wine as a social lubricant and a good discussion, good dialogue to get you to the point where you are posed for success. And extremely proud that just 2 weeks ago, European Commission announced Digital Markets Act, which is regulating how big monopolies like Facebook with Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp, Microsoft Teams, how they communicate and where they're forcing them to open up and where they need to use this technology that we started 6 years ago. And we are still not done. We are only half away of what the goal is there. So, dare to take a risk. Do not let fear stop you. And be prepared that things take time. Sad idem opet na hrvatsko malo, kao što je glasoviti britanski državnik Winston Churchill ustvrdio, pesimist vidi poteškoću u svakoj prilici, a optimist vidi priliku u svakoj poteškoći. Dakle, što bi volio, ukoliko od cijelog ovog govora ćete nešto zapamtiti, zapamtite da svaka katastrofa ili svaka teška situacija isto u životu je također i prilika. Budite uvijek staloženi, mindful, imajte velike ciljeve i znajte da treba vremena za njih. Things take time. Vjerujem da vam je ZŠEM dao temelje kakve bi moja generacija bila presretna da je imala i također temelje ne samo u Hrvatskoj, koje je teško dobiti, nego i širom Europe. Jer u svojoj firmi zapošljavam ljude iz 26 zemalja, tako da vjerujem da neku relevantnost imamo u tome i s time, sa ovim temeljima koje imate, samo naprijed, cijeli svijet je pred vama i cijeli svijet je vaš. Hvala.